All right, that was fun for the 49ers, wasn't it? 24-9. They beat down the Rams again on Monday Night Football. They did it last year, 31-10, course corrected their season. They were 3-5. I wouldn't say the 49ers were in as quite of dire straits this time around. They were 1-2. Now they're 2-2. I mean, all of a sudden, this tells you everything you need to know. People were, just sky has fallen. It's all over. When the 49ers were 1-2 after Denver last week, week later they get one win, and the 49ers are literally in sole possession of first place in the NFC West. So first and foremost, I think that this larger kind of course of events is a lesson that we shouldn't be reading too far into any one game. And along the same note, we shouldn't read too far into this 49ers win, right? They still have a long way to go. Still 13 games left in this 2022 regular season. But everything that we had talked about regarding the 49ers, everything that we had surmised about this team being really powerful defensively, potentially really efficient offensively, Super Bowl contender with a good roster. I think that was all verified. I mean, they just kept the defending Super Bowl champions, the Rams, out of the end zone. The Rams only had 3 field goals in this game, and the 49ers also offensively just took the Rams to school. And this is despite the fact that they have really worked LA offensively during the regular season for several years running now. The Rams still couldn't figure it out. The 49ers, I mean, if you play crisp, efficient offense, then you're going to succeed in this football league. And Jimmy Garoppolo did a good job with that. He averaged well over 7 yards per attempt. I think maybe even 8 yards per attempt in this game. And the offensive line, they played this game on their terms. I thought Jeff Wilson ran well. And then, of course, we're going to talk about Deebo Samuel, who was awesome for the 49ers today. The big offensive blow was that third down pass from Jimmy Garoppolo to Deebo Samuel, who went up to get the ball. I thought that, the corner obviously tried to undercut that slant, took a big risk on it, and Jimmy Garoppolo recognized that, put it up a little bit higher for Deebo Samuel, who caught the ball. Then the Rams defense just wanted no part in trying to tackle Deebo Samuel as he sprinted downfield. Jalen Ramsey, half-hearted attempt at Deebo Samuel's ankles. That didn't work. And then the big touchdown for the 49ers, 50-plus yards, gave him a lead that they wouldn't relinquish in this game. So that was huge. But this defense for the 49ers, I just wrote about it. It's going to be up in the Athletic here in a little bit. The defense was absolutely awesome. That was the least efficient performance of the Sean McVay Matthew Stafford partnership. 3.6 yards per play. That's not good. It was even worse than what they delivered, 3.7 yards per play against Buffalo in week 1. So the 49ers, not only did they, snuff out the Rams' efficiency, I don't even know if there was a play of over 20 yards for the Rams. Up through like 3.5 quarters, there wasn't. So there probably wasn't, since they stayed there at 3.6 yards per play. So they snuffed out the efficiency. But, a big theme of the week for the 49ers had been, they said, yeah, we played good defense against the Broncos, but we didn't play great defense because we didn't force takeaways. We didn't dictate the game. Well, guess what? The 49ers dictated this game with 2 takeaways. Talanoa Hufanga, the pick 6. Didn't it look exactly like Fred Warner's pick 6 against Jared Goff in 2019 and like Jimmy Ward's pick 6 last year on Monday Night Football against Matthew Stafford? I mean, the 49ers, the Rams could not block them up front. So the Rams were just running screen pass, screen pass, screen pass. Talanoa Hufanga, instinctive player, just sits there waiting for that screen pass. He sees different arm action from Matt Stafford, jumps in front of the throw, takes it back to the end zone for the touchdown. So, Hufanga talked about working with Troy Polamalu. He talks about it all the time whenever he delivers an instinctive play. You got to give him credit. I mean, he's a student of the game. The 49ers studied the film. Nick Bosa said that he hadn't watched the game tape of the NFC Championship game until this past week. And you talk about learning from the past and applying it to this game. Well, the 49ers obviously took, examples from the past against the Rams as far as those screen passes go and preyed on them once again. They preyed on them before from Jared Goff and Matthew Stafford. But Bosa said that he saw the effort that the 49ers put in that losing effort in the NFC Championship game, and he was really happy with the defensive effort despite the fact that they lost. And he encouraged the team in a speech at their walkthrough on Sunday to find a way to replicate playoff level intensity and effort in the regular season. And the 49ers absolutely, I thought, did that. Bosa thought they did that against the Rams on Monday night. So they brought the effort, 7 sacks. I mean, a huge storyline in this game is that Coleman Shelton, who's the Rams' backup center to begin with, he was starting this game because Brian Allen wasn't available. Coleman Shelton went down, so they had to go to their third string center. And the 49ers absolutely mauled the third string center. You know, in this McVay scheme offensively, it's a lot like the Shanahan scheme. By that, I mean the center is going to be identifying blitzes and safety rotations. So D'Amico Ryan just said, okay, here, let's blitz. Let's see if they can handle this. And the Rams couldn't handle it. And, you know, their left guard couldn't handle it. Bobby Evans couldn't handle it at all. Their left tackle, Joe Noteboom, couldn't handle it at all. But, the center is the communication, fulcrum of the line. And the 49ers broke down the Rams' protection with blitz after blitz after blitz. They were just so aggressive in this game. PFF's initial review had 14 pressures for Nick Bosa. 14 pressures, 7 sacks for the 49ers, 2 for Bosa, 2 for Ebukam. That forced the Rams just be throwing screens all day and short completions to Cooper Kupp. And that's why Talanoa Hufanga was waiting in the bushes. And guess what? The 49ers left a couple other interception, maybe even pick six opportunities on the table. Fred Warner, I thought, dropped what could have potentially turned into a pick six. Deshaun Gibson dropped one in the end zone. If Gibson catches that interception in the end zone, then the 49ers only give up 6 points in this game. They missed the sack early on, first drive. I thought Kevin Givens had a good chance at Matthew Stafford. You can't let Matthew Stafford slip outside the pocket. If the 49ers register that sack, they probably only give up 3 points in this game. And you're looking at, 24-3? So they held the Rams to 3 field goals despite not playing a perfect game defensively, which I think speaks to just how good this 49ers defense can be. And, they think they're the best in the league. And statistically, they are the best in the league after 4 games. Now, let's talk about the offense. Jimmy Garoppolo, they passed to set up the run. Early on, the 49ers, first play, empty backfield, Jimmy Garoppolo out of the shotgun, hit Brandon Ayuk. They passed to set up the run. And then Jimmy Garoppolo, actually checked with him in the locker room after the game because I wanted to make sure my eyes weren't deceiving me. He checked into Jeff Wilson's 37-yard touchdown early in the game. It was a pitch straight back. I love that pitch straight back because it's a vertical pitch, gives Wilson a lot of room to pick up speed, right? Get a full head of steam. Great blocks from Charlie Werner, who took on the nose tackle, Greg Gaines, on that play. It's like a 70-pound disadvantage, 240 versus 313 pounds. I think it caught the Rams off guard. Shanahan was in his bag today. Kyle Shanahan has his tight end taking on nose tackles, and it's working. That's how you know that Kyle Shanahan is feeling it. He usually brings the heat. He brings his best against Sean McVay. But you had Werner with the big block. You had Aaron Banks with the big block. You had Spencer Burford with the big block. And it was on a play that Jimmy Garoppolo had checked into. So Shanahan gave Garoppolo the freedom and had the confidence in his quarterback to check into a run play that, boom, worked. Jeff Wilson, who said he didn't have burst. Jeff Wilson just rifles through that line, scores the touchdown untouched. So we talked about the Garoppolo Shanahan pairing and maybe some struggles in cohesion between those two. No struggles today. Last week was the preseason for those guys. Garoppolo was a weird off season. It's not an excuse. It was a reason. It was a weird off season for those two. And, at the end of the day, they had to knock off some rust. And I thought that today was a huge step in the right direction for the 49ers offensively. They mixed Daniel Brunskill in at right guard. It was kind of like a possession-by-possession thing, maybe 2-2 with Spencer Burford. But I talked to Burford after the game, and he talked about the fact that Brunskill in the meeting room had given him tips on how to beat Aaron Donald with quickness. So, it's just a collaborative effort. It seems that the 49ers have been able to keep that spirit of abundance in the room that has been so important to this franchise going back to Bill Walsh, but especially here during the past few years of success under Kyle Shanahan. So we'll see what they do along that offensive line moving forward. But, Colton McKivitz got hurt today. I believe it was a knee injury for McKivitz. So they had to go to their third string left tackle, Jalen Moore, but they still continued driving even after they had to make that switch to Jalen Moore. That was late in the game downfield. So that shows you that Shanahan and Garoppolo, they were all feeling it today. And obviously when you have Deebo Samuel, the guy's a cheat code. The Rams don't want to tackle Deebo Samuel. Nobody does. But Deebo, especially against the Rams, he'll take short passes and he will, he's just a weapon of destruction there, out in the open field. And smaller DBs don't want to tackle that 220 plus frame. So best player on the field tonight, Deebo Samuel. And, best offensive player on the field. Best defensive player on the field wasn't Aaron Donald. It was Nick Bosa on the other end, and Talanoa Hufanga is special. This 49ers defense, Nick Bosa said it, these guys, that they're elite at every single level. We know the D-line's elite. We know that they have elite linebacker play with Fred Warner, but now with Hufanga, Charvarius Ward along that secondary. I mean, remember the last time the 49ers played this Rams team? They got absolutely torched by Odell Beckham and Cooper Kupp in the fourth quarter. Didn't happen. The Rams don't have Beckham anymore. Charvarius Ward is a massive upgrade for the 49ers at cornerback. Emmanuel Mosley fits in well in that cornerback 2 role. And guess what? Jimmy Ward's going to be eligible to start practicing this week. He might come off of IR. And Jason Verrett is going to be eligible to come off the PUP list. So as Bosa said, it's going to be scary when you think about the fact the 49ers can add those two guys. As far as bad today, I mean, it's hard to find a lot of bad. The 49ers dominated the defending Super Bowl champion, so you can't be too picky. Yeah, Garoppolo might have missed a throw or two, but I mean, he was a whole lot better than Matthew Stafford, who seemed like a pick-6 machine out there today. 49ers might have left him off the hook a couple times. The 49ers did give up some run yardage in the first half. I think 44 yards, not great. Cam Akers had a couple runs. They only gave up 8 in the second half. They really tightened it up. I think when you look at bad, you just talk about, well, there's some injury issues. Eric Armstead left with his foot issue. Javon Kinlaw couldn't play on his birthday due to the knee issue. But, it's a football season. Guys are going to get hurt. The 49ers are going to have to fight through those injuries, and that's why they have depth on this football team. That's why they have guys like Kevin Givens playing really well, had a really nice swim move and a tackle for loss against the third string center. So the only real negatives you can point to in this game on a consistent basis, on a relative basis, right? You're not going to be nitpicking little small things in the larger scale of the win, but the only negative kind of trends are those couple of injuries and the one to Colton McKivitz that we'll find out more about on Tuesday. But just a huge win for the 49ers. They're now in sole possession of first place in the NFC West. They're 2-2. Oh, and if there was a negative, special teams, right? Robbie Gould missed the field goal that could have put it away a little bit earlier. 49ers got to clean that up. And Ray McLeod fumbled a kick return, but Marlon Mack fell on it. So that was a big break for the 49ers, so they didn't suffer a giveaway there. But the offense took care of the ball. The offense was efficient. The offense protected Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo was accurate. Jimmy Garoppolo did a good job managing the game and getting the ball to Deebo Samuel, and then Deebo was awesome. And then the defense was just overpowering. Again, that was the worst performance efficiency-wise of the Sean McVay, Matthew Stafford partnership, only 3.6 yards per play. The 49ers defense also delivered the worst performance of the Sean McVay, Jared Goff partnership, 3.1 yards per play, week 6 of 2019. So I think it was fitting that this was reminiscent of that, right? Reminiscent of that 2019 49ers defense, because Warner had the pick 6 on the screen there. Today, Hufanga had the pick 6 on the screen. And of course, last year he had Jimmy Ward with the pick 6 on a screen against Matthew Stafford. And I believe that Jimmy Ward will be coming back soon as next week for the 49ers. So all arrows up for a defense that's just playing lights out. Best defense in the league right now. If they can stay healthy enough, reasonably healthy, I think the 49ers are going to follow the formula that we talked about during the regular season. So this is why you don't freak out. This is why we said last week, these are long seasons. And you don't get too high after this game if you're a 49ers player or a fan either. You just say, hey, this is what this football team can do with efficient offense and overpowering defense at all 3 levels. And you move on to Carolina, and then you move on to Atlanta, trying to do those things on a week-by-week basis, and you try to stack those wins. So you don't get too high, you don't get too low, you keep an even keel. And, there was a reason the 49ers were favored against the Rams entering this game. The favorites won today because they played better defense, better offense, and, it's hard to say they played better special teams when the Rams made their field goals and the 49ers had that one miss from Robbie Gould. But at least 2 phases of the game were distinctively better for the 49ers than the defending Super Bowl champions. And you can't underestimate how huge that is. I mean, over half the league is 2-2 right now. There's a lot of parity in the league, so it's up for grabs. Right? This is going to be up for grabs, and we still have 3 months of this. And today the 49ers flexed their muscles in a way that, I don't think many of the other 2-2 teams have flexed yet this season. So again, another chapter's in the books, but the story is going to be long. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we will talk to you guys very soon. More content coming your way. Good night from Levi Stadium.